Okay, in this lesson we're going to cover some of the material out of Unit 2B here, specifically how do we evaluate expressions using substitution and order of operations. So this should be a review of stuff that you saw back in grade 8. Okay. There we go. Okay, so substituting and evaluating formulas. So typically what we're given is we're given something like some expression. It could be just a single term, like we have here, 3x to the power of 4. And we're given some value for that variable. In this case, x equals 2. This is the value of the variable x. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to substitute. And when we're substituting, we are taking each x that we see in our expression, and we're replacing it with the value of that variable that we are given. So this thing, 3x to the power of 4, would become 3, and I'm just going to put brackets where the x was, okay, to remind ourselves that that's where the x was. And then I'm going to substitute in, or replace that x with the value that we had there. I'll just put a 2 in there. So simply doing that, okay, replacing the variable with its value is substitution. If we're asked to evaluate, we want to take this expression that we have after substituting and simplify it so that we get a single number. And this is where our good old friend order of operations comes in. You all remember BEDMAS. We do the brackets first, we do the exponents, divide and multiply, and finally add and subtract. And we always do division and multiplication in the order that they appear in the expression, and addition and subtraction in the order that they appear in the expression. So this one is pretty straightforward. We've got 2 to the power of 4. What operation do we want to do first out of this list? Obviously, we want to do the exponent. Now, let's just pause for a second and remind ourselves, what does 2 to the exponent 4 mean when we see that? Yeah, it means we're going to have that 3, and if I just sort of expand this out, 2 to the 4 means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 times itself 4 times. So that's the first thing we want to evaluate. Okay, so we'll have 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 gives us 16. And then finally, we're going to work our way down, and we're going to do, well, we don't see any other operations here. We just see 3 and then in brackets 16. So if we don't see an operation in here, what operation do we assume that we have to do? Multiplication. So this is really 3 times 16, which is 48. Okay. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, brackets always come first. When we talk about brackets, we only do the brackets when we have some sort of an operation to do inside the brackets. So let's look at another one here. Let's say we've got x plus 5 to the power of x, and let's keep the same value of x. X equals 2. Okay. And what we're asked to do here, I'll just put a line to separate that. So again, we want to do the same thing. We want to substitute and evaluate. So first step, substitution. Everywhere we see an x, we are going to put a 2. So I'm going to keep those brackets. I know I've got a plus 5. And then everywhere I see an x, I'm going to put a 2. And then I'm going to put a 2. So we've done our substitution step. Now we want to apply our order of operations. What are we going to do first as we apply order of operations here? What do we think? What are we going to do inside those brackets? We're going to add. We're going to add our 2 and our 5 together to get 7 to the power of 2, and then we're going to